Hey there, EV friends. It's Mark Weller for My EV Mechanic. Today we are taking a look at a 2025 Toyota Camry hybrid. We're going to focus on some of the changes for the new vehicle. Let's take a look. We'll be looking at the technical features of the high voltage system. So we are going to be safing down the vehicle. So this is kind of the standard procedure that we would follow. So we're going to have the ignition switch off. Some of these we've already done. So the ignition switch is off. We're going to take a look at the 12-volt battery and remove the negative on that. We'll show that in a minute. For the next three, we'll have our personal protective equipment. So we'll have our high voltage gloves. We'll be showing how to remove the high voltage plug. Then we'll wait, and then we're going to do a live dead live, and we'll show you how to do that on this vehicle. All right, so we're going to show disconnecting the battery, but there's a couple cool things back here that we want to cover at the same time. So when you disconnect the battery, you are not going to be able to get in the trunk because the trunk latch is electric. So what you're going to want to do is take a screwdriver or suitable tool, and you are going to want to set the latch. That is going to prevent you from being able to accidentally close the trunk when the battery is disconnected and you're not able to get in the trunk to connect the battery back up. So the other thing that's back here is you're going to have this little hook right here. There we go. So this hook, this is on a lot of Toyotas actually, just kind of a neat feature, but it's going to hook right here. Just a little holder for the mat. There you go. This has nothing to do with the high voltage really, but just this one here does come with a full-size spare tire. A little bit unusual. We're thankful. That's the way cars should be. All right, so then we get to the battery. And so we're going to pop this cover off. This has these two little tabs here. Take the cover off. And then it's just the standard 10mm screw, which we've already loosened. And then disconnect the battery. Anytime you're disconnecting the battery, like this one here, it's pretty, the cable drops down so it stays securely out of the way. If you're working on a vehicle that it doesn't, you want to make sure that that's covered up so that it doesn't accidentally reconnect. So I think that is, so the other thing back up here, so whenever you're done, all you have to do is push the emergency release handle, and then you can watch the latch will open back up. So that's how it latches, that's how it unlatches, and there you go. That's it back here, so we're going to go up front. All right, so we're back. We're under the hood of the Toyota here. So we're going to show you the procedure to verify that the system has safely been powered down. So Toyota has definitely cleaned up the process and made it easier for us. In previous generations, we would have had to remove the cover on the inverter, which then trips the switch on the high voltage interlock as well. But this one here, they put a convenient little cover here, which I need to show what it would look like with the cover. So this is right on the back of the inverter. So the inverter is here. So what it's going to be is this little clip is down in here. There's this screw here. And then there is a tiny little screw that is in here. Okay. So you're going to take all of those out. Okay. That. We've already had these loose, of course. Ideally, you would be using the high voltage tools as well. And so you take the cover off. There are, on the bottom of the cover, there are these two little rubber seals. And so those are going to go in the test holes, which we're going to look at right now. We're going to check a known good source. Okay, so we have this is a little 9-volt battery. So we've verified the meter works. Then we're going to come over here. And you can zoom in on this nice and tight. So these probes, they need to go pretty deep down in the holes there. So if you have the Cat 3 leads on there, it may seem like they're touching the contacts, but they're not. Right? So they got to go all the way down in. Right? And so then if we look at the meter, we're showing 0 volts. And then we would say that it is, well, actually, so after we've done this part, then we're going to go back to our source voltage, or our known voltage, and we verify the meter still works. Okay, I'll show you one other thing that's just a little design thing just to be aware of. So on the hood prop, so I really would prefer that they didn't put the hood prop on the hood. I liked it better when it was down on the body of the vehicle, but so it is. But so when you disconnect this here, if you let go of this, it is totally going to hit the body of the vehicle. Okay, so be mindful of that. And then in addition, they conveniently, as you can see, the hood prop wants to go down in this slot, which would be totally the wrong slot. That's not where the hood prop goes. It actually goes in this one over here. That could have just been designed a little differently, but that's how it goes. Okay, so we're going to show some of the pieces in the back seat area. We've already disassembled several of the pieces. So this is going to be the frame that's underneath the seat cushion. This will need to come out first. Now we're going to go inside. All right, so we're in the back of the Toyota, and not for the reasons you'd think. So let's take a look at some of the stuff while we're back here, though. So the seat cushion itself, it's going to have the third seat belt here. We kind of fought it for a little while there, and then we realized, you know, we didn't even really need to take it out. So we just looped the seat belts around the headrest, and it just holds it up out of the way, and that actually worked fine. We didn't need to worry about that at all. So we have the cover off of the battery. So this particular one is a lithium-ion. So it's a 2025 Toyota. For many, many years, they used the nickel metal hydride. So if we can zoom in on some of the features here. So this is going to be our manual service disconnect. So this is a direct disconnect, which means when we take this out, we are actually disconnecting the high voltage wires that are right here. Okay. Ideally, you would have your high voltage gloves on, so we should qualify that. So you're going to pull down. You're going to pull down here, and then you're going to pull this out, and then it pulls out. So that's how it comes out. So you would want to secure this so that somebody doesn't accidentally put it back in. Okay, so we think we have figured out what Toyota is doing with the pre-charge circuit and turning on the contactors. So on turn on, there appear to be turning both the positive and negative contactors at the same time. And then when it turns off, it's turning them off one at a time to do the safety check to make sure that the contactors aren't welded shut. And we think they're doing that because they're using the DC-DC to charge pump the inverter instead of using a pre-charge relay and a pre-charge resistor. So we're going to have a listen, and here we go. Powering on. And now we're going to do power off. All right, so we're back on the other side of the back seat and talk about a few things here. So it uses kind of the standard fan. It's computer controlled, and it blows underneath the batteries and then exits on the other side. It uses these ribbons that come across here. There's two ribbons, one for each bank of batteries. And so these plug into the battery management system. So these are, unlike previous Toyotas that use the nickel, these are individual lithium cells, and each cell is going to have its own cell tap. So unlike how we were doing basically the 7.5 volts, and we would look at them in pairs, this one looks at each one and not only looks at it, but does balance it. The connections where they used to use the bus bars that were bolted and they had the corrosion issues, these appear to be welded. We think that this was probably all robot assembled, spot welded with the robot, and didn't see an easy way of getting them out. All right, we're going to take a look at a few things while we have it in the air here. So let's see what's on the bottom side. A couple items of interest. So there does appear to be a NACA duct or a scoop that leads to the electric power steering, kind of cool that area. There's pretty good plastic underneath to keep everything aerodynamic. Just our regular exhaust shields. These were a little bit rattly. Well, you couldn't hear it when you were driving. It's been fine. So we do have the high voltage cables. So we can come around this way and maybe get a better angle from this side. So the high voltage cables, they drop down from the battery pack. That would be underneath the back seat right there. And then it runs across there and up to the front, right onto the inverter. And this one has just a regular gas tank, plastic, I'm sure. And then it is rear independent suspension back here, nothing particularly fancy. It does have the electric parking brakes, all your standard camber adjustments. And yeah, that's pretty much underneath here. So I want to thank you for watching our video of the 2025 Camry. If you are already a subscriber, thank you. If you're not, please go ahead and subscribe. Tell your friends, EVs are now available to everyone, and I look forward to seeing you around the EV circuit.